see if we could make this happen again. I'm having some problems with the app, but we'll try to make it happen. Hopefully, shit, it looks like it's freezing up. Lost connection. Let me make sure I'm not on. Yeah. Okay. What we're asking, if TikTok allows this app to work this time, is what we're asking is, should McCarthy step aside? They are on, I believe, their seventh take, the number seven. Seven is not the charm, but they are on their seventh attempt to nominate a Speaker of the House. And once again, it does not look like they may be successful. So that's the question we're starting right off with is, should McCarthy simply step aside and let someone else, obviously from the Republican and conservative side of the aisle, pursue the nomination? And if so, who the hell would that be? Who could step forward and actually fit the bill? That's what we're going to be asking. Going to the box. Kiss my grits. Participants at 50. It did the same damn thing on my last login where it will not let more than 50 folks watch this live stream at the same time. So that's clearly something coming from TikTok. It's frozen at 50. Kiss my grits. Good afternoon.
Hi, hon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. So what do you think in regards to what's going on in Congress? Should McCarthy step aside?
McCarthy should definitely step aside. He's nothing but a rhino. Nobody wants him in there. So, yeah, I think Jim Jordan, although Jim Jordan don't want the job because he's got other projects he's working on, but I think Jim Jordan would be a better candidate than any damn rhino.
Yeah, but how? Here's the question that baffles me that I have to ask. Because right after January 6th, when folks were criticizing Trump, McCarthy was the first person to go down to Mar-a-Lago and show support for the former president. How did he become a rhino?
He's an ass kisser.
Okay, that might be a more understandable term. Okay, but I don't see him as a rhino. You see him as a rhino?
I do. When he voted on that bill, that $1 trillion bill that just passed. No.
Right.
No.
Well, you're not going to have any politician that votes the way you prefer 100% of the time. But I mean, he showed President Trump a lot of love. You don't give him any credit for that?
He's still in there to get paid. He voted to get another damn raise when they're not doing shit.
Yeah. But in regards to them being in there to get paid.
Do you agree with me? Both parties aren't doing nothing. They're doing nothing for the American people. They're just lining their pockets.
Well, get over here. Well, let me ask, since you brought up that they're not doing anything for the American people, if you could stand before Congress and give one particular piece of legislation, something that you think Congress should do, name one thing that you believe Congress should do for the American people.
How about closing the border?
But what about the fact that a lot of them...
Do you know...
A lot of American people don't want that, though. I get what you're saying, but a lot of American people...
Do you know 11 people die an hour for overdosing? And that border being open? Yeah. That border being open is not helping no one.
Yeah. But
11 people die an hour. And then people wants to say, well, the corona was bad. No. Overdose is bad.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, in the comments, I have to hold my tablet up because I'm wearing white so I can see the comments. But in the comments, Vincent Kemperial says, I want open borders, which is the point I was trying to make is when you said close the borders, there's a lot of Americans that are on the other side of the way you feel about that. So even if you were to address Congress...
We're sending billions of dollars for Ukraine to have a border. Why can't we have a border?
Well, I don't think we're sending money to the Ukraine for them to have a border. We're trying to make sure they have a country. They're trying to get rid of the Ukraine. Huh?
There always will have a country.
I don't know. I think Russia, with them seizing Crimea and Georgia, they're trying to
Crimea has
absorb.
always been Russian.
That's not true.
Yes, Crimea
Before
is part of Russian.
I don't think the Ukrainians agree with you.
Okay, but look at history.
Okay, I mean, if that's the case, then Texas is part of Mexico. If you want to go by history.
No, because we bought Mexico. We fought for Mexico. We conquered that.
Okay, then that's how Crimea is the same way. They fought.
It's still part of Russia, though. Crimea is still part of Russia.
Yeah, I don't know why the Ukrainians see that totally different. They had their own. In fact, the entire world recognized the sovereignty of the Ukraine. No, you don't see folks on the world stage, whether it's the United States or any other country, suggesting that Crimea is part of Russia. That's just not the way any of the major players around the world see that.
But, okay, how many people actually honestly look at what's part of Russia, what's not?
All you got to do is
we
pick up a
shouldn't be
map.
over there to begin with. We shouldn't be sending help. We shouldn't be doing nothing because we've already had this talk. If Ukraine did not broke the peace agreement with Russia, it's their business. It's not ours.
Well, here's the conundrum that I believe President Biden is facing. If Biden takes the route that you're suggesting, which is this is none of our business, don't send our money to the Ukraine, you and I both know Russia will be far more successful in that endeavor over there. And as a result, Zelensky is most likely going to be knocked out of power, and Russia is going to win what they are pursuing. Now, under that situation, come election time in America, what are the chances folks are going to point out that under Trump, there was no war in Russia and in Ukraine, and under Biden, there was a war and Russia got bigger and stronger? That's
if
what
Russia wanted Ukraine. Don't y'all think if Russia wanted Ukraine, Russia would have had Ukraine by now?
No, I don't think that. There's no way I'm going to
believe. Because China is also backing Russia.
So why is this going on for 8 months? You think Russia wants that?
No, Russia don't want this. But why is Zelensky pushing Russia in a corner?
You're asking why is the much smaller Ukraine pushing a large juggernaut like Russia in a corner?
You're failing to see this, okay? Zelensky has broken the agreements, okay, that they made back in however damn long ago, okay? But not only that, the east side of Ukraine had asked Russia for help because of the right-wing sector and the Azov battalion unaliving their people.
What agreement are you? I'm not aware of any of the things you're talking about. What agreement did the Ukraine make with Russia?
Shit. I can't remember right now. I just had surgery, so I'm kind of been on medication.
All right, fair enough. Okay, well, I gotta move it on.
Just look it up on that. But McCarthy is not the person to have in the office.
I think you're not the only one that thinks that. Fair enough. Come on back through anytime. Kiss my.
All right, bye, hon.
Good talk. Have a good one. In the comments, he came all the way to the U.S. for a payday loan. Cedric, I don't think he even has to pay that loan back. So good on Zelensky for coming to the United States. And by the way, he was invited here. He didn't come out. He was invited. Russia lied, stated no war. Yeah, in fact, one of the issues with Russia, for any of you guys, folks who have been following this, and by the way, tap the screen. It looks like TikTok has got their damn algorithms straight. Appreciate the fact you guys are rolling with your boy as always. Tap the screen, get your boy up to 5,000 likes. What I was stating, and I'll go right back to the box. For you guys who have been following the conflict over there, in the beginning, Russia had invaded the Ukraine with personnel that did not don any Russian apparel. They had soldiers on Ukrainian territory committing attacks, and they had no flags or anything on them at all. And Russia was actively denying that they were Russian soldiers. So anyone who believes that Russia is justified in their actions, there's no explanation for why you would send foreign troops on someone else's soil to commit an act and then deny that they're even your troops. That right there goes against probably the Geneva Convention and a hell of a lot of other things. You're not even claiming the guys you're sending. You've essentially launched a war and you're denying that you're even doing it. So we'll look at it from that standpoint. Looking in the comments. Ukraine has not. I don't get that one. All right, let's go back to the box. The question we're asking, and I'll go back to the box. Solemn promise on every program, I do not ban, block, or censor anyone for their comments. This is a MAGA-friendly program, but liberals are welcome as well. Come on in. I'll give you plenty of time in the box to state your point. The fact that you disagree with the host never means a damn thing here. All right, it is Bulldog Will. Hopefully, doesn't screw it up. We're asking, should McCarthy step down, step aside, and if so, who the hell could the Republicans send up that they would agree is the man for the job? Bulldog, good afternoon.
What's up, my brother? Yeah, I think he should step down, but they're going to try to bring the Jeffries in because I'm sorry to say this, and I hate to say this, but the Democrat pick a black person, the Republican going to pick a black person. So that's all to it.
That worked really well with, what is the guy in Georgia? The football player. Why can't I think of his name?
Walker. Herschel Walker.
Yeah, Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
That worked really well, deliberately picking a black man in Georgia. That didn't work at all.
And that's what they try to do, the same thing right now. So that stuff ain't going to work. It doesn't matter. Right now, the Republicans always talk about, and I'm neither Democrat, neither Republican, but they're always talking about they're trying to heal the country. How you trying to heal the country when you can't heal yourselves?
Oh, I didn't. I felt that one. Well, shit. I mean, if you say Jeffries, obviously no to McCarthy. Shit. Yeah. Then what do we have, a divided Congress for the next 2 years?
All day long, because you have people with alternative motive. You got some people that may be for America, but you got some people with their own interests, and that's all it boils down to. You got the old Republican versus the new Republican Party. That's the way I feel about it. And you got the young Republican Party want to brush away the old Republican Party, and the old Republican Party want to stay in charge, and they fighting the young Republican Party. So it's like a father and son combination, or old man and a young person set in my ways, and I don't want to change. Well, I want to change your ways because I want to do it my way. So now they're trying to. That's what it seems like. And right now it's not about the inflation. It's not about gas prices. It's not about the Border Patrol. It's about what group I can put in office to control what about my narrative. And so if you can't,
if you say it's about the old Republican Party fighting the new, I mean, how many members would even qualify to be considered as part of the new Republican Party? Most of them still are. I mean, we know we put Marjorie Taylor Greene and maybe a couple of them in there, but how many? Is it even enough for them to be?
No.
Say that again.
20. You can see by the vote.
That's all you need, right? Yeah, that's all you really need. I guess you're right.
Right, and then everybody want to talk about this Russia thing in Ukraine. Russia tried to do the same thing in Iraq and lost. They tried to evade Iraq. It was a 2-year war, and they did the same thing that they tried to do. They tried to dominate. They tried to take over. They tried to incorporate the wealth of Iraq into Russia, and they had a big war, 2-year war. We look it up, in which Russia lost. But Russia trying to do the same thing. But
in regards to, let me ask you, in regards to Russia and Ukraine, if America had not assisted the Ukraine, would Russia still have lost?
Yeah, because here's my thing: you can't take away the will of the people. You see what I'm saying?
No, but you can take away the people. I can't change your mind, but I can smoke your ass.
But let me ask you a question: which one is more vulnerable? Somebody who's fighting to save their lives, or who you think will last long? Somebody willing to get their life taken away, or somebody who's trying to save a life? Which one you think will fight hardest?
Oh, yeah, somebody fighting to save their existence. Yeah, they're going to fight their ass off. I get that. I agree with you there. But
I think they probably would eventually take it over, but Russia would take a severe, heavy loss because they don't have that fight in them that these Ukrainians have right now of trying to survive.
Yeah, and I agree with that because for the Russian citizens, it's very similar to what it was to the American citizens in Iraq. It's an optional war. We
Right.
don't need to necessarily do this, but for the Ukrainians, it's not optional. They're trying to wipe out our very existence. So I
Exactly.
agree with that. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. So the thing is, man, how this thing gonna turn out and how it's gonna turn out, man. I just want to tell you also, keep on doing what you're doing, man. I love what you're
Thank
doing
you.
because, like I said,
Appreciate that.
you don't block, you have conversations even with people that don't agree with you. You give everybody a chance to express themselves, and I think that's one of the biggest problems we have right now is that everyone wants to overtalk the other person.
Yeah.
Everybody get their point across without really listening to what the other person has to say, because you just might learn something. Whether we agree or not, you still may be able to teach me something that I don't know if I would just take the time to listen. I don't have to accept it, but I can just listen.
Man, I appreciate that sentiment, and that's
Yeah.
absolutely the truth. I talk to MAGA every day, all day, and they do educate me on some shit, and then I try to get my point across. So yeah, I appreciate you coming through, man.
All right.
Anytime, come on back through.
All right, man. Let somebody else on. You have a good day, man. Take care of yourself.
Absolutely, you too. Good talk. All right. In the comments, kudos to Bulldog. Yeah, absolutely. Amen, brothers. Definitely appreciate you guys giving that man a shout out. For all of you folks who are new to this is what we do on this broadcast. Feel free to follow the program. Show your boy some love. It helps out the algorithms. Tap the damn screen. Get your boy up to 10,000 likes. As my last caller just stated, and I'll go right back to the box, I do not ban, block, or censor anyone for their commentary. At the end of the day, this is a MAGA friendly program, but liberals are welcome. In fact, whether you agree or disagree with the host, what do I always say? It doesn't mean a damn thing. I give you plenty of time to state your point. All right, looking in the box, Trump for prison soon. Trump is not going to prison. Steven, Dean Steven 78. Do I believe Trump possibly committed some crimes? Yeah, I believe there may be something there. Same thing I would say about Hunter Biden. Same thing I might say about Hillary Clinton. But at the end of the day, elite members of our society do not end up in prison. They get special treatment. Even this guy with the FDT, the what do you call it, the cryptocurrency guy that was hiding out in freaking Nassau, Bahamas, and he extradited him to America. He has one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in American, if not worldwide history. Dude is out on bail. How the hell does that happen? I could go and knife someone. I could go and threaten a cop or some shit, and it's hard for me to get bail. He has literally one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in world history. And they actually gave him a bail, like $25 million or something like that, which for some strange reason, he happened to have the money to pay. So when you start talking about Trump and big folks going to jail, whether or not they committed the crime or not, folks at that level don't go to jail. They just don't. You realize someone like Trump or even President Biden or Hillary Clinton, they know where so many bodies are buried. They can make so many deals. They just don't get incarcerated. If any of you holding your breath for Trump to be in an orange jumpsuit, you sound just like the folks yelling, "Lock her up." Never's going to happen. All right, going back to the box, it is Piano Man, a friend of the program. Welcome back. Bernie Madoff is one, and so was the Enron guys. It does happen occasionally, but how this guy got an actual bail makes when you actually have to extradite him from a foreign country. How the hell you bring him home and give him a bail? That makes no sense at all. Piano Man, good afternoon.
I heard his bail was $250 million.
Well, do you pay the whole amount or do you pay a percentage of it?
I think it's 10%.
Whatever the case may be, you're being accused of ripping off thousands of people. Yeah, so and he claims he only had like $100,000 or something, but he didn't find a way to come up with this bail.
Yeah, I have no idea. But anyway, Kiss My Grits is a QAnon person, as you can see by some of the things that she said.
I'll let the woman speak, but she's passionately right.
First off, Ukraine and Russia didn't have any agreement together, and then she goes, Ukraine's part of Russia anyway. No, and America promised to take care of them. That seems how they got rid of their nuclear weapons. I mean, yeah, she's a definitely QAnon person. Oh my God, I'm surprised. And you are such a great guy. You
I,
just let people talk and dig that hole that they're going to put their tombstone on.
oh shit! Listen, I like to let the people speak. I don't want to,
I
overtalk
know.
folks or shut
I
people
know, I
down.
know,
But
I know,
yeah,
but
I
it
disagree with her.
definitely, but you know what your show does? It definitely shows a lot of people who are really lack education. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm
listen. At the end of the day, some of my viewers tell me I lack education. It goes
No,
around
dude,
and comes around.
you're a smart man. You're a smart man. Just
Thank
like
you for the sentiment.
the gentleman you just had up, he's a smart man. You do have some people up that are smart, use real facts, use real evidence in regards to the conversation. But you do have some of the people who basically are QAnon and they don't listen to
Well,
anybody else.
speaking of QAnon, because in the comments we got two folks I want to run this by. You tell me what you think. Coffee Time, first of all, said loves Kiss My Grits, but followed by which is J Boy in the comments said, "What's wrong with Q?" How do you respond to someone who would ask, "What's wrong with QAnon?"
What's right with QAnon? Everything that they say, JFK is coming back. JFK Jr. is coming back. Donald Trump's going to be put back in as president. The Trump controls the military. Trump's really the president right now. It's just that Joe Biden's in place in the White House, but Trump's control. Those are all QAnon talking points,
Yeah.
just like
Well,
Kiss My Grits.
I guess my biggest issue, because I've talked to a lot of QAnon folks even before I started doing this. I've been on here for about a year, but even before this, I've spoke to a lot of folks on the right, had a lot of debates. And my only question often is, how many times can one of these, secret cables or whatever they're releasing, it looks like it's coming straight out of the military. The QAnon folks, it was almost like they had an insider in the military that was giving us the scoop of what was going to happen. And I would ask people, how many of these have to not happen before you finally say that maybe this is bad information? I mean, because you're right. First, it was Trump was going to become president. I think a few days later, and Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden were going to be arrested and tried for treason or something like that.
Exactly.
And every few days, when that prediction did not come true, they would have a new prediction and they would just keep leapfrogging to these new ones as if the old ones not coming true meant nothing at all. Like, how many times does this stuff have to not go right before you finally start saying, "I'm not going to trust your ass"?
Well,
I still don't get it.
that's just it. They're so deeply involved in everything that they say. They keep on saying, "Oh, there's a new sign. Something else is coming out. It's going to be here soon." I mean, I hate to say it. I hate to make the reference. They're just a one drink away from being Jim Jones.
Jesus. Okay, we'll go right back to the topic, though. What do you think about McCarthy? Should McCarthy step down?
McCarthy should step down. Due to the fact that he's the one who's also denying the insurrection on January 6th. He's the one who went to talk to Trump right after he called him out at January 6th. He said Donald Trump is responsible for it. He should be held accountable for it. And what does he do? He goes and talks to Donald Trump, and he's been shutting his mouth ever since. He's ignored subpoenas to talk about his phone calls with Trump. Jim Jordan's done the same thing. I think what they should do is get an outside source of somebody who wasn't in January 6th at all, who is
But who would they be willing to? Would they get behind Liz Cheney or Adam Kinzinger? Who would they be willing to get behind?
I want Liz Cheney because then she would control what Kevin McCarthy does and everybody else, and she can kick him out of committee and never give him anything. I think they need to have somebody who has a history of being a real good Republican, because there were good Republicans, to be head of the Speaker of the House. There are good Republicans out there. There's good everybody out there, but you got to find them.
You need what is it? 220, right?
218.
218. Okay, so I'm assuming that some of those Republican Congress people do believe that Liz Cheney was wrongfully ousted. If you could get enough of them and the rest in Democrats, you probably could get a Liz Cheney. I don't know because I'm assuming some Democrats would, because of what you just said, would, if you got Liz Cheney at the helm, they don't get to shut down the January 6th committee the way they want to. They don't get to go after Hunter Biden the way they want to. Right. So it would not surprise me if a Liz Cheney was nominated by, say, 100, 150 of the Republicans, if it would not be possible to get the remainder in Democrats.
Well, all you got to do, all you got to do is get 10 Republicans and the full.
You ain't gonna get the full
Democratic
You're
Party.
not gonna get every Democrat to go behind Liz Cheney.
No, you're not going to. But I mean, that would be the easiest scenario. Because there were 10 people who voted against Trump in the impeachment.
Yeah.
And
I've said it before, even though Liz Cheney was definitely a traditional Republican, she voted with Trump 95+% of the time. Exactly. I still believe what happened to Liz Cheney was wrong. And I would never vote for Liz Cheney. But the only reason they got rid of her is because she ran afoul of Trump. All of a sudden, after January 6th, she's a rhino, she's a piece of shit. I'm like, if you go back to the state of Wyoming on January 5th, January 5, there was no one complaining about Liz Cheney. She was a shoo-in to get reelected. All of a sudden, one guy she has a problem with, and that alone turns her into a rhino.
Just like Kiss My Grits said. Everybody's a rhino if they go against Trump, because she called McCarthy a rhino, but he's 100% Trump kiss butt. So that idiotic comment that she made, they eat their oon. If you tell the truth
but in her defense, she did correct herself and stated that McCarthy is a kiss ass. And I told her that makes more sense, is that you're with Trump one day, you're not. And like she stated, you just are willing to do anything to remain in power. And a lot of folks are looking at that.
Kevin McCarthy hasn't kissed his butt and then called him back, pedaled it back.
Yeah, he did. He started out by blaming Trump for January 6th. He was one of the first to step up and hammer.
That he did, but then he went and kissed his butt, and he's been kissing. Right.
And so he comes across as a man with no principles. So I understand the right wing.
So does Lindsey Graham, who said that Trump was how many things did he say bad about Trump? And then all of a sudden Trump wins, and he's the greatest guy. So they all backpedal their statements.
Which to some degree is a defense for Trump, because he does not backpedal. He stands, even though I don't agree with a lot of things he says, he does stand on what he says, though. I got to move it on, Piano,
man. You be
good talk.
I love watching your show. I love watching your show.
Hey, good to have you here, man. All right, look at the comments. I got to hold up my tablet so I can read. I'm wearing white, and unfortunately, so is the writing. The reason Lindsey Graham got forgiven was because he did what he did before he was president. I don't know. I think that one of the reasons, I'll go right back to the box, but one of the reasons folks on the right, my beloved MAGA folks, adore Trump is that he stands on the principles he believes is right. Whether we agree with Trump or not, I'm talking to liberals, Trump stands by what he says and how he feels. You would not be able to do what was done to Lindsey Graham to Trump and get away with that shit. It doesn't matter if it was before you were president or not. Same thing with Ted Cruz, where Trump tweeted out a picture of Ted Cruz's wife and said, which one would you choose next to Melania Trump? You couldn't do that shit to Trump and get forgiven. He wouldn't forgive you for that, because, as folks would say, he's a man's man and he stands up for himself. So when politicians allow themselves to be trounced like that, treated like shit in a public forum, and then they come right back in line because it benefits them, it does look like you have no principles. And that's where McCarthy, Lindsey Graham, some would say Mitch McConnell, hell, even Chris Christie got thrown in that same category, and of course Ted Cruz. They come across as men with no principles who are willing to do whatever the hell they have to do to remain in power. All right, going back to the box, it is Willow Woods. Good afternoon, Willow. True are civilized. I like that comment. Nothing to see here. Keep scrolling. Willow, good afternoon.
What's going on?
Not much at all. McCarthy, should he step down?
Oh yeah, he needs to stand down.
Then why won't he? I haven't had one guest, not one guest today or yesterday, that suggested this man should continue pursuing this. Why won't he? Why won't he step down?
Well, I guess he already moved into the speaker's office. I think he has
That's
somebody in the bag.
embarrassing. That's it. You know, that's almost like showing up to a chick's house at 2 a.m. with an overnight bag and the bra say you can't come in. That is embarrassing as hell. Because
Oh
you
yeah, I
got your
know.
shit. Yeah. Oh, you know, that's even worse. But the fact is, yeah, he don't put all his furniture in there. And now he's going to have to take it out, which means whenever he has to remove his furniture, you can be for sure the liberal media is going to be there filming those movies taking this shit out. That'll be on the front page.
Yeah, he might as well step down. I mean, honestly, and Piano Man was talking about McCarthy, being a kiss ass, but in 2016 he was talking hella shit about Trump. So honestly,
Well,
I think
but
MAGA does
that's
not
the
like McCarthy.
but
MAGA
that's the
doesn't like Liz
problem though is
Cheney.
that Trump today is Trump yesterday is Trump tomorrow. He stands on what he believes in. Like you pointed out, McCarthy is over here today. He's over there tomorrow. He's defending this guy
Right,
today and he's hating that guy. It looks like he's all over the place.
he is. And I mean,
So,
listen, he's a backed by big money, so you ain't gonna get no MAGA, especially like Matt Gates. I mean, nobody's gonna go with McCarthy. They
how
won't
does
let him
Trump
in.
feel? Didn't Trump endorse McCarthy?
Yes, he did, but
So is the
I
Trump
think
in,
it's
is the,
just at the fear of getting a dim in there for sure.
so is the Trump endorsement starting to lose power?
Well, I think here's the deal with Dems. I think that they think that Trump has some kind of this overwhelming, which we do like Trump a lot because
Yeah.
obviously his policies helped us out. But at the same time, I think a lot of Dems are really mistaken about what's going on here. Is we have a mindset and we're all connected, but at the same time, we like what we like, and we're not going to be forced to have a representative that is backed by big money, in office.
Yeah,
We just don't want that.
but the Dems don't have anything to do with this. They have enough members on the Republican side to make this happen, and they cannot.
I'm,
You
I'm
got
talking
Trump,
about
as you
people in
just
general.
stated. Trump has openly endorsed McCarthy. So why can't is the Trump endorsement not strong enough to get those other 20 people on board?
I don't think so. No, negative.
But you'd have to admit in say 2016, 2017, 2018, chances are likely that his endorsement would have been strong enough.
I would agree with that. Yes, I
So
do
he's
agree.
gotten weaker. He's definitely gotten weaker.
Well, I think it also has a lot to do with the people around Trump, the cabinet. His advisors. They have stirred him wrong. I mean, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I like a lot of things that he did, but at the same time, his cabinet made him look terrible in a lot of decisions that he made too.
So I gotta move it on, but before I let you go, Jewel, what's your response to this? Jewel got us in the comments said a Trump endorsement is the kiss of death. Do you see any negativity from a Trump endorsement?
No, I really don't. If anything, I think a Trump endorsement, just like everybody said, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Boebert, all of them still love Trump, and
Yeah.
I don't see Trump going anywhere for a long time.
Do you see him getting the nomination as a Republican contender?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You think he can pull it off and win?
It just depends on how much the FBI and everybody has influence on the election.
Let's say, let me throw it to you this way before I let you go. Let's say Trump survived all of the investigations, all of the criminal charges and things like that, and it does come down in November 2024 to an actual vote, and you believe he's already the Republican nominee going against the liberal. Do you think he could win?
Yes, I do. I really do, yeah.
Wow. Okay, fair enough.
Well, I mean,
back
he's
to
had the
anytime.
most votes out of any Republican ever. I mean, to me, it's It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. But does
And
he still have that support?
oh yeah, I think his support's stronger now than ever.
Jeez. Okay, fair enough. Come on back through anytime, man. Good talk.
Yep, take her easy.
Absolutely. All
In the comments, legally he can win. Yeah. Trump, and this is in caps, Trump is over, done, never Trump again, says REB triple quadruple seven or 7077. I am voting for Trump if possible. Well, I think that certainly will be possible, Bra Baldwin, because he's obviously a Republican contender. So at least in the primaries, you should get a chance to vote for Trump. In my opinion, my humble opinion, you guys can tell me where you think I may be missing the boat. I believe even if for some reason the law prevented Trump from running altogether and removed his name completely off the ballot, he would still have probably well over 1 million write-ins. People would just write his name down there on his shit. So you're going to certainly get a chance to vote for Trump. Trump will be voted for a lot in the 2024 election, whether he's running or not. People are going to put his name down. Looking in the comments, Trumpism isn't a movement. It's a bowel movement. Oh, my God. I'm going to leave that alone. You seem to be good, man. There is some Dems on here that fool. Well, I try to give folks a fair chance to speak. Go right back to the box, and that gives me a chance to roll right into my typical spiel. This is a MAGA-friendly zone. MAGA are my preferred guests, but liberals are welcome too. I do not ban, block, or censor anyone for their commentary. Fact you might disagree with the host never means a damn thing. Tap your screens. Let your thumbs not be lazy. Get your boy up to 20,000 likes. Appreciate the love. Democrats hate a good economy, I guess. They just want to be talked to with kid gloves. Weak as fuck, says Stevie D, a friend of the program. Stevie, in regards to Democrats wanting to be talked to with kid gloves, if you are a politician, if you essentially are a salesman when you are a politician, no different than selling insurance door to door or selling vacuum cleaners. As a politician, your job is to sell yourself. If you are trying to sell yourself to a constituent that wants to be talked to with kid gloves, then damn it, that is what you should do if you want their vote. If a constituent believes that a politician should not be name calling and engaging in, tweets and awful rhetoric, and you choose to tell that constituent fuck your feelings, you already know what's going to happen come election time. You're not going to get that person's vote. That's how the game works. No different than if you're trying to sell me something and you come to me with a bullshit attitude. You're probably not going to get the purchase. I don't know why folks don't understand that. Going back to the box. TikTok is acting a little bit funny, but let's make it happen. An unapologetic black man.
Sure. Let's see if it goes down. Black man, good afternoon.
Always a pleasure. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. What is it about? We're going to talk about Congress, obviously, but I want to ask you real quick in regards to the comment I just received. Why is it that so many folks believe that people on the left, Trump detractors, should have ignored the tweets and insults and still voted for him anyway, as long as I'm providing you with a good economy or my policies are good, I should be able to say whatever the hell I want, insult anybody I want, and you should ignore that. Why do they seem to think that?
Because that's what their politicians say. I mean, that's what Trump does. Trump says it on a daily basis. He loves the Mustache Man books, and if you read any of the strategies of dictatorship, that's what you do. You make sure that everyone's a liar, everyone's being mean to you, except for when you do it. I mean, Trump said it literally. He says it now, like, I'm a victim. And it's like, man, I'm gonna send his ass some BLM shirts. Like, he might as well just join our squad, man. Now he say he has a victim mentality. Like, geez,
you gonna send him a pic with a fist on it? Look, I want to say this real quick in the comments because look like Stevie LA said Biden insults conservatives constantly, and I see Dance and Queen said the same thing. True enough, the Biden administration are insulting, particularly MAGA. I think they're calling them ultra MAGA or some shit like that. However,
So,
the Democrats are not telling conservatives to ignore Biden and vote for him. You guys are telling liberals to ignore the insults that Trump was delivering to us and still vote for him anyway. We're not telling you to vote for Biden. That's the difference. But black man, McCarthy, should he step down?
hell no.
We
You,
talked
you,
about this yesterday.
yeah, because you don't even come on 7 o'clocks anymore. So I only have Jerry in the afternoon. So they are my Jerry Springer show at night. I've been
I've
watching
been
them lately.
trying to, I get kind of lazy in the evening. I've been trying to start my evening program up, but I get a lot more participation during the day, which is kind of why I just started doing the day. I don't know how many folks on here used to watch me at the 7 o'clock, but so you want McCarthy to keep running. You like the
Yeah,
Jerry Reed mentality
yeah.
in
I
Congress.
love that mentality. He been sassy his whole career. Don't stop now.
But what
I
about
like.
the idea? What about the idea that us as a nation, we need a unified Congress to get shit done? As long as they keep doing this right now, they can't do anything.
Nobody wanted to unite 5 days ago. For any of these voting, nobody wanted to unite with Biden. You remember? Biden is destructive to
Yeah.
the United States. Biden has inflation going through the roof, gas price. Nobody wanted to unite with Biden, even though the Republicans never want to admit that a lot of things that have been going through, even money sent to Ukraine, has been bipartisan shit, people. We need the
Yeah.
majority to make this shit happen. So when people say like, "Oh, you got," and that's another thing, people have to remember that that's just more proof how much of a grasp, a grip that Trump had on the party. And when he left, it was like, unbutton your pants at Thanksgiving. Like, whew, gee, he's gone. Like, we can
But wait a
breathe
minute.
now.
But wait. He's unlike the Thanksgiving dinner. He's not gone. What about the idea that he's endorsing McCarthy and yet McCarthy still cannot win? Like I asked the previous caller, has the Trump endorsement lost power?
Yes, especially after you call McCarthy a coward, snake, talk to the January 6th committee. Why would you call Liz Cheney? Why would you say that you're going to instruct the 25th Amendment on me? You remember he was talking about their
Yeah.
whole little crew
Yeah.
after all the January 6th information came out in the text messages and the calls. And then now all of a sudden, once again, he has to cater and pander to the people in power because the people in power, like now, most of them, you think they ass answering his calls now? you think?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, yeah.
Tell
I
his
would
ass
assume a
I'm
lot of
busy.
his
I'm on the
calls.
toilet. Like,
Yeah, I'm on the toilet. Yeah, I was gonna say I would assume a lot of his calls are going unanswered. But in the
mhm.
comments, Second Chance is saying that McCarthy is a rhino. Do you see McCarthy as being a Republican in name only?
Rhino is something new. Where's this rhino shit from? Why are you Ace Ventura as concepts that Republicans come up with? What are you guys talking about? Rhinos. This is something new where um, if you have zero conversation about policy, the best thing you could do is call names, insults. Like talk about people policies. If like you said, we could sit here and show you the data that the Republicans that you guys are calling rhinos have been voting over 93%.
Yeah.
Anything that Republicans
Well,
bring to the table. So how are they rhinos if they're loyal?
yeah, to me, if I had to give my spiel on what a rhino is, it's someone who tends to vote against the principles of the party. And I think in this day and age, it's went from somebody who votes against the principles of the party to somebody who votes against Trump. I mean, it doesn't matter how
Yeah,
much you have been in defense of the Republican way of life. The minute you criticize Trump, you're a rhino. And I think that's where the whole change. Because I mean, we would look at Manchin or Christine Sinema, and they would
yeah,
be the Democratic version of a rhino. But it's not
yeah,
because they're criticizing Biden. It's because they are going against climate change or they're going against
yeah.
moving over to alternative energies and things like that. They're sticking more to the side of the Republican Party. That to me is what you would say a politician in name only is. But yeah, going against one guy should not make you a rhino.
That's because they say same people that loyal to Trump or loyal to whatever rhetoric, or I mean, because again, I give people the time on my live to explain the policies that they believe the Republican Party are bringing forth to make America great again. And only thing I hear is make America grotesque again, because everybody
Mm,
keeps talking about older policies, and I tell them, for people of color and black people, those policies didn't work for us. Oh, we
yeah.
talking about bringing it back to the states.
I
That
don't
didn't
think
work
you're
for
any,
us.
but when you paint a vision, and I've asked folks on the program, and I got to move it on, but I'll give you the last word. But when I ask folks, make America great again, what do you want to go back to? It is a nice, colorful America, but in regards to what you just stated, the way of life for minorities is not even in the description. I mean, it was, Christianity, two-parent households, things like that. But okay, well, how were African Americans living at that time? I don't think they've even thought of that. It's not even part of the equation. So
Oh,
that's
they thought
why.
of it. They thought of it. Let's be real, okay? Let's everybody as adults be real. What is make America great again? Where did that concept come from? It's not new. That concept back in the 80s didn't come new. It was from America first. Now, what trips me out is they say the Democrats created the KKK, right? If you look
That's
up
true.
any pictures of them, they are carrying around Make America Great Again, America First, pro
Really?
America sign.
I,
Yes, look up the pictures. They're carrying these signs around. Right now you can Google a picture where the triple K are carrying America First, Make America Great Again signs. Now, they always say that the Democrats created the KK. Okay, then, so why are you guys adopting even their slogans
damn,
today?
damn.
Their
All
slogans.
right,
And then
all
it's
right.
from
I
Trump.
need,
Trump.
I
Hold
need
on,
to
hold on,
see
hold on,
that
hold
though.
on. We're talking about Trump, the man who believed Putin didn't put bounties, and our soldiers say he had bounties on their heads. He didn't believe that. When they said Putin, Russia hacked our system, Trump said, "Why would I believe us? Why would I not believe Putin over my own intel?" Lost the tariff war against Xi, but he calls Xi a king today. He wants to be like Xi. He wants people to stand up and salute him. Everybody in America. He said it out his mouth. He wants to kill, I'm sorry, unalive drug dealers, all type of crazy crimes he feel like they should be, and the homeless like she does. And we're talking about somebody who didn't do anything to North Korea like y'all touting about and lost the tariff war. Like, if this the guy that y'all are saying is the best and we should follow, and y'all think y'all party has the best outcome with him, then like I said, this has been entertaining to me. Jerry, I love the Republican
All
Party right
right,
now.
I
You
gotta
guys
go.
are.
I gotta go. All right. I want to see that too, but I'll catch you later.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Because he's suggesting that the same slogans of MAGA were originally flown or waved around by the KKK. That's a legitimate point to make if it is true. I seen in the comments Stevie D and some of them saying it wasn't right, and I see some of you others like Fun One saying it is true. I need to see that. I'm very curious about that now. In regards to do I come on at 7, not as much. Rough seas. I got a lot more participation. What is it, 400 plus of us in here? And if some of you guys would tap your damn screen, get your boy up to 25,000 likes, we might be able to go over the 500 mark. But I get more participation during the daytime show, and it's easier. I'm on lunch break and shit like that. Whereas when I'm home, I try to deliver a good product, and I actually do more research for the night shows, which is why you got the screen and all of that shit behind me. But I do enjoy talking to the folks. I do get educated, like Black Man there was telling me some things I've never heard before, and I get the same thing often from MAGA, which is why I do not ban, censor, or block anyone for their commentary. I do not ever pretend like I am the know-it-all or take the nerve to talk down to my guests. You can learn a lot from anybody if your ass is willing to listen. Going back to the box, it is the one and only CMB Corrado.
Appreciate that. Whoever just sent me that stick figure there, that was Dancer. Or Stevie D rather. Stevie D. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for the love. CMB, good afternoon.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. We got a few things to talk about. Obviously, you heard my last guest, but I want to ask you as well, McCarthy, should he step down or should he continue the pursuit? Round number 7, I believe it is.
You know, I'll be honest with you. I'm a little bit disappointed with my people in their they things are a little bit fucked up. They should have, Trump should be Speaker of the House, and everybody that disagrees is a fucking idiot, as far as I'm
But
concerned.
would Trump take the role? That's a huge demotion. Would he take that?
Well, the thing is that if he takes that, then he can impeach Biden, because there's plenty of shit that Biden did to impeach him.
Yeah.
He can impeach Harris for fucking lack of knowing how to even speak. And then the next person in line is him, and he could step in and straighten out all this shit. And
Yeah,
anybody,
but wait a minute. Now, you're partially right. If he is the Speaker of the House, similar to Nancy Pelosi, he can call for impeachments. But the Senate is in Democrat control. He's never going to succeed. It would be the same thing that happened when he was impeached. But your point is he should take on a revenge mission, it sounds like.
but the thing is that, his impeachment things turned out to be all bullshit. The things that he would impeach Biden for are factual things that we've actually seen in the last couple of years. So,
Like
I
what?
mean,
Give me an example.
like anything, like anything, just Afghanistan. Start with Afghanistan and all of that shit. And
Okay, let's go with Afghanistan. Let's go with Afghanistan.
Abandoning Americans, leaving Americans behind and Marines behind, and pulling out of a country that we've been at war for 10 years to what? So we could fund another war in some other part of the country? I mean, come on. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Let's go with your statement. Okay, 13 Americans lost their lives in the botched evacuation of Afghanistan.
That we know of, because I'm sure there's a lot of Americans. I'm sure there are a lot of Americans that got killed after when they took back over Afghanistan.
All right, but let's go with what you're saying. Okay, so we go after Trump for the loss of American lives. In your opinion, do you think the Senate will continue the impeachment after it leaves Congress? In your opinion, under liberal control?
No, obviously not, because people are stuck in their ways. It's the same scenario that you look at right now. I mean, you talk to these Democrats and they're okay with everything. And I've gotten to the point where, you know what? If everything's okay, they better hold on to their seat, because shit's going to get a lot worse if Trump doesn't take over the fucking United States. I'm telling you right now, mark my words, you can write it down on your calendar. CMB said that shit is going to get really worse. And all these people
What is your definition of shit getting worse? When you say shit's going to get worse, give me an example of something.
Everything, economy, violence in the street, problems in the schools, everything. It's going to be like it's going to be like something that no other have seen, because I'll tell you why, because the new generation has gotten everything so easy and so handed to them, maybe not in a gold spoon, but they sure got it on a silver plate. And
so let me ask it to you this way. Let me ask it to you from this aspect. If you believe that the country's going to go to hell in a handbasket if Trump doesn't get back in office, Trump is a guy in his late 70s. Is there anyone else out there that could save America other than Trump?
Well, the only reason I say that Trump can save America is because most recently, only 4 years ago, Trump's situation of America when he was running the country, even though he was being pulled out the ass for doing stupid shit that never turned out true, things were good. And I'm
asking that question though. I'm asking that question. If Trump
that's
doesn't
what I'm saying. I don't have another person that I've seen in the last 10 years that has actually done what Trump did as far as economy and everything else goes, and keeping peace with other countries, nobody going to war, no weird shit. The only weird stuff that happened when Trump was in office was everybody was blaming him for all these fraudulent bullshit things, starting with the Russian collusion to yesterday. And the border, all that stuff. I mean,
I get your defense of Trump, But you don't, out of a country of 330 million people, you can't think of one other person that, I mean, Trump is like almost 80 years old. He's not going to be around for, no, not one other person you could think of that could save this country other than that one guy.
Well, the only person that I could possibly think of that would probably save this country is you, but I don't think you want to run for president. Other than
Oh, you
that,
trying to get me shot?
hey,
Hey, I
listen,
appreciate it.
you could be the president, and I'll be vice president, and you know, we'll like they say, we'll K them all and let God sort them out.
I'm honored. I'm honored. I didn't think you was going to go there with that shit. What about DeSantis? What about DeSantis?
DeSantis is a good man. DeSantis is a good man. People don't like him for the same reason they don't like Trump, because he's arrogant and he speaks his mind and he tells you how it is. And he looks in your face when he tells you. He's not looking down at his ice cream or looking at you know, in the clouds or staring at a flag or reading a prompter or whatever. He looks at you in your face, tells you what he's planning on doing, and he does. And so far, he's gotten it done for Florida. And to be honest with you, you know, Florida, we could just kind of float out into the ocean.
Are you there? CMB, it sounds like you're fading away. Can you hear? You sound like you, it's interesting you said we could just float out into the ocean and your connection started breaking. Are you still there? I don't.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you were saying we could float out into the ocean, and then your connection started going. I'm like, is this guy really floating away? So you see that DeSantis could actually make it happen. I gotta ask the obvious question: why do you think that minorities are so overwhelmingly against a resurrection of Trump or a promotion of DeSantis? What is it about these candidates, in your opinion, that minorities cannot see the benefits you're pointing out?
Because they're weak-minded people, and they don't have. I mean, it's kind of like in the world, you know, you have owners and you have workers. You know,
that's called slavery. That's called slavery.
No. Slavery. No. Don't pull the racial card on me now. I'm going to have to take away your presidency.
I didn't say
I'm going to have to take away your presidency.
You said owners and workers. That's a condition known as slavery. That's exactly what it is.
Not in my world, because I know plenty of colored black people that run lucrative businesses from you know, Wall Street to mom and pop stores. So to me, that's anybody that still thinks that is crazy. Yeah. And you know, people want to. And I got a lot of black friends, and you know, and they all, you know, they all agree with me. You know, you hear these people and they want restitution for what happened to their ancestors. You know, they want to be paid for what happened to their ancestors. Mm-hmm. So what you want some more easy life is what you want.
So you said they want some more easy life. So you think that minorities in this country has had an easy life and they want more of that?
No, I'm just talking about and I wasn't referring to just the black people. Okay. I'm talking about the new generation. The new generation doesn't have a spine. They're all like wishy-washy, and nobody's like straightforward, and you can tell you meet somebody nowadays, you know, they don't even look at you in the face when you're talking to them, and it's just you know, it's just a whole new mess.
I gotta ask you about what you said earlier, because the comments are going fucking nuts here. And I asked you, why is it that minorities do not see any value in a re-election of Trump or a promotion of DeSantis? You said because they are weak-minded. Explain that.
Well, because they don't, the minority of people, and it has nothing to do with race or color or anything, because there's a lot of let me stop you, because the way I'm phrasing the question to you is about race and color. I'm saying, when I say minority, that's exactly why I'm telling you that it's not about race and color, because there's a lot lot of Spanish people, and there's a lot of colored people, black people, and that don't that 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 are, are my generation, and they are business people, and they are productive of society, and they do whatever they have to do to either survive for the ones that don't have things that
Okay,
they need.
let me rephrase it. Let me rephrase just so we can get clarity here. When you look, and I'm talking about minorities, black, brown, people of color, whether they are high school dropouts or millionaire rocket scientists, athletes, entertainers, whether they're homeless or they got a mansion, every single group of African Americans, and most likely Hispanics too, favor the Democratic Party. They are against people like Trump and DeSantis. Why is that? Across all categories, blacks and Hispanics tend to vote more in favor of Democrats. Why is that?
Well, like I said, to give you a 100% honest answer, I can't answer that because I don't understand. I don't understand their way of thinking. I don't understand how they even today can sit there and tell you that Joe Biden is doing a good job. And, I just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. And I just, I feel sorry for them because obviously they're borderline ignorant. They're just, they just, and the majority of the colored and Spanish and, people that are voting for Democrats are pretty much 35 and under.
I don't know if, when it comes to Biden, for instance, we had 22 liberals running for office. Biden won because of the black vote in places like North Carolina. Then we're not under 35-year-old people. I mean, like I said, all categories, even black senior citizens, overwhelmingly vote Democrat. No matter what category, wealthy black people, poor black people, homeless black people, you name it, educated, uneducated, every single demographic of African Americans overwhelmingly vote Democrat. There has to be some reason behind that.
Yeah, but those percentages that people come up with, that they put them on the internet or whatever, they go to a certain area based on what it is that they're trying, what their agenda is. They'll go to an area and take a survey of that certain area where certain things are the way they are, the way they want them to be, and they publicize that. Do we want to get an accurate count? Let's do something like a voting day. Let's have, just a simple handwritten thing where you go in and you give a paper and you just put your age and you hand the paper in, whether you want Democrat or Republican, and you don't even have to put who it is. And I bet you those statistics will be a lot different than what you read on the internet.
All right, fair enough, CMB. I got to move it on. It's always
let me just say one question. I had one question for you.
Quick.
So what do you think about what do you think about Elon Musk and the Twitter situation and Joe Biden shitting in his pants and start asking about Elon's residency and if he's legal and if he's paid, all that shit.
All right, I'll drop you and answer your question immediately. Okay, now, real quick, in regards to his question, what do I think about Elon Musk? And I've had the question presented before, and I'll go right back to the box and keep it moving. But in regards to Elon Musk, I believe what Elon Musk is saying probably has some validity to it, whereas Twitter was working with the government to do what they could to help the Biden administration gain power. I believe there's some facts to that. However, Elon Musk is political. Elon Musk has been tainted. Elon Musk to the liberals is exactly what Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, or Dr. Fauci is to the conservatives. Elon Musk has stepped up and spoke out favorably of Trump, endorsed DeSantis, and most believe that the only reason he purchased Twitter was to allow Trump to continue speaking. So you're probably not going to get a hell of a lot of support
from the liberals in regards to Elon Musk, because what he is doing does make it appear as if he is tainted. Now, in the comments, the being, I can't pronounce the name, but you're saying somebody said Elon Musk is liberal. So is Tulsi Gabbard, if you want to look at it from that standpoint. I don't think you're going to get many liberals at this point in the game that believes Elon Musk is a liberal. Yeah, he's promoting alternative energy vehicles, but in terms of his politics, he does not appear to be a liberal. All right, going back. Oh, libertarian. Fair enough. Let's go to the voice of patriots. Oh, libertarian.
Well, good afternoon, Patriots. First time talking?
Yes, sir. How you doing today, brother?
It's a pleasure. Good to have you on.
Very
First
much
question
a
we're
pleasure.
asking, and you may have obviously heard some of the previous callers. You can elaborate on that. But what do you think about McCarthy? Do you think he should step down?
Absolutely. I think McCarthy should step down. I mean, he's been in government for how many years? Look, the guy even moved into the Speaker of the House's office 3 days before the vote was even taken. Kind of cocky,
some cojones,
right?
That's some big cojones to do some shit like that. Yeah, he did do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That struck me all wrong when I saw that. But you know.
You lean right, am I correct? You lean right, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
What is it about McCarthy that you don't think? Why is the Republicans pretty much not working with him? Why do they not favor him to be Speaker of the House?
Well, I mean, look, he was number one on that bill that just passed. How many $1 trillion back to Ukraine again? And we've got people here on the streets that are doing without, veterans that are homeless. And we're giving more to Ukraine? I mean, it's got to stop. And he was number one in supporting that bill. I mean, the buck's got to stop somewhere.
Here's the problem I have with that, though. I often hear folks saying, instead of giving money to Ukraine, help out the homeless, as you're pointing out, or what about the veterans and things like that. Now, the Russians attacked the Ukraine in February of last year. If you go back to January of last year, we still had homeless and veterans not being taken care of. So, in my opinion, we're just using the veterans and the homeless as a diversion to point to the Ukrainian money. Because if we stop sending money to the Ukrainians, you're not going to have a huge push to help out the homeless. We never have been in favor of helping the homeless out in this country. So I don't know if the Ukrainian money is taking anything from them.
You're absolutely right. Nobody has ever stepped foot forward to do something for the residents here. It's always elsewhere. And you're right. I believe it is a crutch. Everybody, that's the first thing that I leaned on. But, you know, man, I heard the comment a while ago. I mean, you were asking why so many people lean to the and I've heard it explained to me that they've changed sides, that, people that were Democrat, you know what I'm saying? They've changed sides.
You're talking about the
But it all comes down to this. This is the way I see things. We were all made by one creator. We were all made equal. It doesn't matter if you're white, brown, black. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We all bleed red.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I agree, I'll let you continue, but while I agree we were all made by one creator, we have never been treated, we have never used an equality measure on the world ever. Even in the Bible, it talks about slavery. So even though we were all made as one creator, we were apparently never meant to be treated as equals.
You know what? And it also goes back to everybody with the picture of Jesus in their home. We don't know if Jesus was black. We don't know if he was white. We don't know if he was brown. But I do know one thing. That book, that is the greatest love story ever written. And as soon as everybody stops calling color and love everybody for the way he created us to love, that's when we're going to start to mend. Stop listening to statistics, to everybody's own agenda that pads their own pocket. That's when we're going to get back to living and loving one another and be a united country. That's what I wanted to say, brother.
But you say when we do what you suggested, that's when we can get back to, being united. When have we ever been united? I don't think we could ever go back to being united because we've never been there before.
Well, I need to rephrase that. That's when we can put our foot forward to start united, We
All right.
have been used and played as pawns against each other our whole lives. We've been lied to our whole life. And as soon as more people like you and I wake up and we get the rest of them woke up, that's the sooner we can put that foot forward and unite and learn what being united is all about.
Appreciate it.
You
All
know,
right, boys.
it's learning.
Come on back to
All right, brother. Hey,
go ahead.
before you cut me off, I want to say I love you, brother. God bless you. I pray for your wisdom, your discernment. Have a wonderful day.
Shit, you got me damn near in tears, man. Come on back to anytime. Good talk.
Amen.
All right.
I'm going to give you.
Oh, shit, I didn't mean to cut you off that last second, but I appreciate the accolades and the compliment. All right, what about Biden, says Rollover. What about Biden? If there's something you're concerned with on Biden, feel free to drop it in the comment, and I'll see if I can address it. The Hunter Biden, 10% to the big guy. You guys have control of Congress. I'm talking to my right-wingers, my beloved MAGA. You have control of Congress. Get your party in check so you can make the shit happen that you want to happen. You're not going to get any investigation of Biden if you can't even decide who the Speaker of the House is. That's an internal problem. So in regards to what about Biden, what about Congress? Looking in the comments, Samuel L. Jackson in Django Unchained. Okay, fair enough. Need more people on the right like your last caller. Yeah, I certainly agree. We need more folks, right and left, more folks that are in favor of unity. Make no mistake about it, even though the Republican Party is in divisive shambles right now, it's not like people on the left feel their pain. A lot of us on the left are celebrating that shit. I just watched The View earlier. Those women on The View are happy about that. So the right is hurting right now due to the division, and the left is celebrating it. So we are a very divided country. I don't know how we could come together. By the way, speaking of coming together, let your thumbs come together. I'll go right back to the box, tap the screen, get your boy up to 30,000 likes. You're pretty damn close to that. I appreciate the fact you're rolling with your boys. 600 plus of us in here. Damn, the patriotism is off the chain. This is a MAGA friendly program, but liberals are welcome as well. MAGA are my preferred guests, but liberals give you plenty of time in the box without any fear of censorship, being banned or blocked for your commentary. The fact that you may disagree with the host never means a damn thing here. First Amendment reigns supreme. Going to the box, Anthony, 6195. Friend of the program, Anthony, welcome back. Stevie D of the mic, thank you. Much love to you. Anthony, good afternoon.
What up, boss man? How you doing today?
Oh, shit, I got promoted? Mccarthy. McCarthy, should he step down? Should he step aside?
Man, you want my honest answer?
That's all I want.
I could care less. To be honest, you were saying like the women on The View were laughing.
Yes, they're celebrating.
Yeah, they celebrated. I'll never call myself a Democrat, but as someone who opposes conservatives, we beg them not to do this. We beg them not to do this.
Not to do what? Beg them not to do what?
To inject Donald Trump into our society like they did, into our politics. We begged them not to do it. So since they chose to swallow the poison.
So, but if you would never consider yourself as a Democrat, have you once considered yourself as a conservative, or are you just independent all the way?
I've always been an independent since I was 18 years old.
Okay. 2020 election, who did you go with?
I went with Biden.
2016, Hillary or Trump?
Oh, definitely Hillary.
So you went with two liberals, pretty fair liberal. Obama,
what I said,
Obama and Romney. Where were you at?
Definitely Obama. I lean left. I lean left.
No shit.
Left. There's no question. There's no question whether I lean left.
Okay.
Because
all right. I'm just checking.
Yeah, no. We've had these conversations, and at the end of the day, like I said, we beg them not to inject Donald Trump into our political society. So since
Okay.
they chose to swallow the poison pill, by all means, they're not finished self-destructing. We haven't even seen it. We're just scratching the surface.
But in regards to Trump, if you take away the rhetoric, the tweets and insults, and just look at his policies, was the man all bad? Was he really that bad policy wise?
Without the rhetoric and the whatever else it was you
Tweets,
just said, without
tweets and
the bad,
insults.
yes, without the insults, the tweets, and his demeanor, he would have never become president. That's what got him to be president.
Wow. So you believe that the reason folks on the right voted him in office to begin with is because he was insulting and being a bully?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Shit. Okay, so what about after he was in
told you.
office? What about after him being in office for 4 years and you getting a chance to see how he ran the country? If he had backed off on the tweets and insults, do you think he would have been reelected?
I'm man enough to tell you that if the man had come in and do what he said he was going to do, and not decided that it was in his best interest to side with white supremacists and the people who, if he would have been president of the whole country, the man probably could have been the best president ever. But
Wow.
somewhere along the lines, he decided that it was in his best interest to side with white supremacists, and he never tried to break that.
From your comment about white supremacists and Trump siding with him, I get no shortage of folks on my program, predominantly MAGA, that state that Biden is the one that's the most intolerant and racist. How do you respond to someone who would suggest that Biden, vote for me, you ain't black, the crime bill, hanging around Senator Byrd and things like that? How would you respond to someone who says that Biden is far more racist than Trump?
I would tell you that we've been here since the beginning. We were here during the 94 crime bill. We've been here through everything that Joe Biden has said, and we still chose him over your president.
Damn.
That
says a lot. That does tell you something. That actually does tell you something. Wow. All right, fair enough. I got to move it on, Anthony. I do appreciate you holding on. I did see you in there, so my apologies for that. It picked another call over you, but appreciate you coming through, man.
Always.
Good talk. All right, look at this. Well, we can't fix stupid. What are you trying to say there, Jimmy M000117? Looking in the comments real quick. Trump did more for the black community than any president. Knowledge is key, says Coxie Clean. I like the name Coxie Clean. Trump did more for black people than any president. Freed the slaves, Civil Rights Act. I don't know. Any president? I don't know. What did Trump do particularly for African Americans that would compete with the Emancipation Act or the Civil Rights Act from Lyndon Johnson or John F. Kennedy? I don't know about that. That's a really, really strong statement. I guess I'm not being genuine when I say I don't know about that. That sounds patently false, but let me know in the comments. What did Trump do that would beat out Abraham Lincoln, JFK, or Lyndon Johnson? Law and Order, Trump for president 2024. Oh, Trump for prison. Trump's not going to prison. Republicans have never nominated a president who was minority or female. Yeah, I think that's true. Republicans have never nominated a Republican that was minority. Yeah, that would be true. Yeah. All right, going to the box. It is Exmo Joe. We got to talk, damn it. I see that in the comments. Some of the most creative names. I always point out creative names, but Exmo, good afternoon.
Good. It's good to talk to you again, Hanson. How you been?
Absolutely a pleasure. We're starting out with McCarthy. Should he step aside?
No, he should go to the Democrats. I mean, look, elections have consequences. I don't like McCarthy. I don't like his party. I don't like his politics, but his party won, and marginally so, but won. And so he should go to the Democrats. What I don't think the math, the arithmetic, I don't think people are paying enough attention to
Yeah, but
is
would a Democrat support McCarthy as Speaker of the House?
yes. I mean, he
You
supported.
do
I mean,
realize McCarthy voted to not certify Biden's victory,
yeah. Oh
and they
yes.
would vote
I
for
don't.
him as Speaker of the House.
Here's what look. Here's what I'm saying. They got to have a Speaker of the House at the end of the day, and at this rate, they're not going to have one anytime soon. So they got to make some kind of compromise. Now, I guarantee you, Nancy Pelosi, who's played both sides of this aisle her whole career, knows full well that she's in a position now where even in a Republican-held Congress, in a Republican-held House, her party can get chairs of committees, and that is the real power in the House. You need to be able to control what's coming out of these committees. If she can get a guarantee that there's going to be a Democrat on, as the chair of the Ways and Means Committee alone, or the House Ethics Committee, she's got real power in her corner, and all she needs to make this thing work is to be able to say, look, I will get 5 Democrats who are voting for Jeffries to vote present. They don't even have to vote for McCarthy. They just have to come out and say, I
Yeah,
will vote
okay.
present. And that
But
changes the whole arithmetic.
I get your point, but I don't know. I think the fact that McCarthy voted not to certify Biden's victory is probably a lot to stomach for a lot of Democrats. If you are a Democratic politician, Democratic congressperson, and they do what you said, either vote present, or they actually go on the McCarthy side, you're going to have a hell of a lot of time explaining that to your constituents. Because, like I said, if you're Democrat, any Republican that voted to not certify Biden's election, literally based on Trump's word alone, I can't see it. You might be
That's why
right.
I'm
I may be wrong, but I can't see that.
That's why I'm saying all she needs is 5 people to change to present. They don't have to vote for McCarthy. Anybody can go back to their constituents and say, look, we had to put an end to it, and I'll tell you why. Because they couldn't seat new Democrats
I can't see
in
it.
the House.
But if you are a Democrat and you vote present, isn't that indeed just the same as a vote for McCarthy?
No, it's more like 2 votes for McCarthy.
That's even worse. That's even worse. That's not
But
gonna
I'm telling.
happen, man. That's not gonna happen.
Okay.
No way that
I
shit's
just
gonna happen.
I just want to point out here real quickly because I mean
Sure.
we got to get some left airtime here since Jim Crow a couple of guests back got plenty of time on his own. But there was this claim that Donald Trump did more for more black people than any president ever. I
I
mean,
get it
look,
all the time. That is a very common statement that Trump did more for black people than any president in history. Give me your spiel on that.
it's absolutely insane. I mean, you look at just one executive order by Joe Biden, and in that he has committed now to release thousands of nonviolent marijuana offenders from the prison system. These are people we know are disproportionately people of color and are
Yeah.
really being forced into what is an incarceration slavery system in a private prison system where people profit off of the slavery of people of color. And it is insane that that's happening in this country. And Joe Biden is doing it. Now, does Joe Biden have a checkered history when it comes to racism? Sure. Yeah. The white man who's been in office for like 5 decades, yeah, he's got a checkered history. But we also, at some point, I think we have to embrace that there are some people that there is a chance that people can change. And if you look at the man's history over the course of time, you will definitely see that there is some change there. And so, is he the president that I really ultimately wanted? No, even though
Who
I
did you
voted
want?
for him.
Out of them 22, who did you think was best? The Puerto judges, the Cory Bookers, the Christine Gillibrands. Who did you think was best?
100% it was Bernie Sanders. Bernie had it all the way. Bernie was at
Bernie.
the door, ready to take away this nomination for 2020, ready to take off with it until Jim Clyburn's fish fry. I mean, I'm sorry, but it did. It changed the dynamics. Now,
All right.
that
Okay,
alone,
but
though,
what about moving forward? Because we know Bernie at this point is definitely too old. Who could fill
right.
Bernie's shoes that has that same type of progressive mindset that you personally would favor? I mean, Elizabeth Warren?
I like Elizabeth Warren. I think there are a myriad number of Democrats that could be worked with to accomplish something progressive. But I mean, at this point, I don't think that we're going to see in my lifetime another Bernie Sanders. I think we screwed the pooch on that. So
How do you
uh,
respond to, like in the comments, Roosevelt Emerson, and this is a very common statement. Roosevelt Emerson says Bernie Sanders would bankrupt this country. How do you, if you actually favor Bernie Sanders, how do you respond to comments like that? That you're giving away too much,
yeah.
the spending would be out of control, and you would bankrupt the nation.
Yeah, okay, so that's all based on economics that aren't proven. I mean, you look at the things that Bernie Sanders actually supports. My favorite description of Bernie Sanders, I believe it was Bob Reich, who said, at the end of the day, Bernie Sanders is a pretty lousy socialist. What he really is a New Dealer. He believes in the principles of FDR's New Deal and in restoring those principles. In addition, he believes primarily the big shift that people fear for absolutely no good reason. If you know globally how economics has worked out for countries that have adopted single payer health care, is the adoption of a single payer health care or Medicare for all system. I mean, that's not such a crazy thing. And nations far more successful and with far more equality and equity than we have in this country adopted it decades ago. It's not going to bankrupt any country if you know.
I've lived overseas. Yeah, I got to move it on, but I lived in Australia. They had a universal health care, and Australians are doing pretty damn nice. So appreciate you coming through, Exmo. Catch you on the next one. All right.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually been to countries, New Zealand, where they had it as well, and yeah, they don't seem to be bankrupt. At the end of the day, America is one of the wealthiest countries on the planet, and why do we not do more for people that are downtrodden? Because you see folks talking about the issues with Ukraine. That money could go to help the homeless, could go to help veterans and things like that. Well, homeless and veterans were suffering long before even Putin's invasion of Georgia in 2008. So it's not like we actually were doing something with the veterans and helping out the homeless, and all of a sudden we needed to start sending the money to Ukraine. Fact of the matter is, it's simple. There is no benefit in helping poor people. That's the way folks with tend to do things. I mean, if you have money, you focus on your bottom line. You do things that are going to help your bottom line. Helping out the Ukraine, that's allowing us to sell weapons, gain territory, gain bases, gain new contracts in that atmosphere or that geographic location of the planet. There are a lot of financial benefits to helping the Ukrainians maintain a sovereign nation. There are very few financial benefits to giving folks universal health care or giving folks a home that are homeless or helping out veterans. There's no money to be made off of it. That is why in this country, the people who are at the bottom tend to get the least amount of help. There's just no benefit to doing it. It sucks that it is like that. It is immoral. If you are Christian, that seems to be about as anti-Christian as you can be. That is my spiel for the day. Going back to the box. It is Uncle Flimbo. That's a hell of a name. Let's make it happen. Good Uncle. Wrong. Ukraine isn't even part of NATO. I didn't say Ukraine was part of NATO. I said them go in that direction.
Dude.
Uncle. Good afternoon. What's up?
Hey, look. God bless you for doing that. Thank you. I'm humbled. I didn't think you was gonna let me on. I didn't brush my hair or nothing. Am I on TV?
Why the hell would you come to the Handsome Liberals program and think that you would be banned, censored, or blocked for any damn thing? We don't do that here. What's on your mind?
The last time I was on, you let me in about 3-4 months ago, and in the middle of what I was saying, I got cut. They kicked me off. Somebody silenced me. No, it wasn't you. I know it wasn't you.
What the hell
I know it wasn't
saying?
you.
Okay, because I'm like, what was you saying?
No, I was hoping you'd see that and let me in to say what I want to say. Look, I love everybody, okay? We got a 2-party dictatorship, and I'm just meat and taters North St. Louis County, grew up poor but didn't know it. Ungrateful youngin', is what I was. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I had a good childhood and shit.
Right.
All I'm saying is
All
this,
right.
and I'm going to piss a lot of people off, but that's okay, because in order to be a free thinker, we must risk offending some people, right? Freedom of speech is a beautiful thing.
All right, state your point.
It's a two-party dictatorship, right? And it's more about money now than anything. And people are buying this hype about, well, I think they're making race relations worse. The government is, the media, the overall algorithm, if you really want to go that way with it. And then, like,
well, wait a minute.
Better.
If you believe, let me interrupt you. If you said you believe that the government and media are making race relations worse, Biden and Trump are part of the government. Do you believe Biden and Trump also made race relations worse?
Yeah, they're both. Well, I don't watch enough TV no more to be able to answer that honestly. I wouldn't know, because now politics is ran like the WWF. It's all mudslinging bullshit. We need a good independent to come along, be taken seriously. I do vote for Trump over Biden any day. I think Biden's a clown, got a clown show going. And I've never even been Republican all my life, but I'll take Trump over Biden.
So
but we need both of them out of there.
Okay, since you said that, let me ask you the question I asked a few callers back. Why do you, because you said you take Trump over Biden anytime. Why do you believe so many minorities are turned off to President Trump? In all categories of minorities, they seem to overwhelmingly favor anybody but Trump. Why is that?
From my experience in life, I grew up in a good mix of white and black folks, like 50-50, right? From my experience, it's Trump is viewed as racist. But see, here's the thing. Biden's racist too. They're both just as racist as each other. What I'm saying is, I know the race problem is there, but I'm starting to notice it's more about money than anything. If whites and blacks can stick together and see what's really going on, because they want black folks to believe they're oppressed and help to hold them down. They want trailer trash and whatever you call whoever it is. And I know I'm being crazy right now. People's like, oh my God, he's a bigot. Look, it's about money. If you're poor and you're white or you're black, they want you to fight each other. The whole time you're busy fighting each other, they run away with the ball.
Yeah, but
the middle class is going away.
But I gotta ask it to you. I gotta ask it to you from this standpoint. There are wealthy minorities. There are minorities that work in. There are minorities that work in the media, and they too overwhelmingly favor Democrats. Are you saying that the minorities are not smart enough to make a decent decision?
No. It's not even about intelligence. It's just about the bullshit is so thick. Don't nobody know what's really even going on no more. So they're too busy listening to Uncle Sam. We need an independent. George Washington himself said, the fall of this country, if there is one, is going to be partisan politics. That was coming out of George Washington's mouth. Okay. And in a way, it's true. It's embarrassing. Trump's embarrassing. Biden's embarrassing. Here's my thing. If you work hard, I don't care where you come from, what nationality you are. We are a nation of immigrants, y'all. So all you racist motherfuckers need to go. This was never meant for nobody but immigrants anyway. We're a nation of immigrants. So the racism is so
how do you feel,
stupid to me that I don't pay no attention to racism no more. Fuck them.
So in regards to this being a nation of immigrants, how do you feel about Biden's view towards immigrants versus the Republican view towards the immigrants at the southern border?
I don't like Biden so much, I couldn't tell you. I don't know his opinion on it. I don't watch politics no more. Because when I do turn the TV on to try and watch, I laugh. That's how bad it's gotten. Real talk. Our youth needs something to believe in again. We done taking God and everything out. Look, believe in which you will believe. I respect all faiths, even the atheists.
All right, fair enough.
Something's wrong. Something is wrong.
So
go out and talk to the people in your neighborhood, y'all. Don't buy this media all the time. Put that down.
But you said a nation of immigrants. So if someone is trying to come into this country from the southern border that believes the cartel is after them, what is your take? Should they be allowed into the country?
First off, I pray for everybody involved in this situation. Because how do I even have an opinion on that? I'm not Spanish or in Mexico trying to get to the United States, but is there not a right way to come into the United States? Ellis Island? You know what I mean? If you're illegal, then you got to suffer the consequences of that. I'm not trying to sneak into any other country and do it illegally.
Yeah, but
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but if you actually were fleeing someone you thought was trying to take your life, you wouldn't try to sneak into another country illegally if you thought it could save your life?
Yeah, no, I would. Right. I would. That's not the case, though. That's not the case with everybody. They're trying to get better opportunity. I get that. But you know what? So am I. I walk to work every day. I'm just saying. And I'm blessed. I'm lucky to be able to do that. I drive these Reeboks everywhere I go. I love them.
Okay.
All I'm saying is the media, look, I don't know, man. Look, I don't know. Just love, show kindness, show love, and don't piss on the American public's leg and tell us it's raining. And where I live, whites and blacks get along just fine. We fight the same fucking battles. I don't like police around here either. I used to get pulled over and get shit beat out of me for having a black guy in my car growing up where I did, because all my friends were black.
Let me ask you that then. Now, when you pointed to blacks and whites fight the same battles, and the fact that you got pulled over and the police beat the shit out of you.
I fucked up in one spot. I have never fought the black battle. I'm not black. So I'm not going to pretend like
okay,
I know the black experience. I don't, but I've seen the struggle.
But let me ask you that. Let me ask you in regards to the statement that you have seen the struggle. Why do you believe it is such a stark difference on how the black folks view police versus the white? Whereas blacks are saying that the police are corrupt and they often mistreat people, and the whites are saying blue lives matter. Why is there such a difference?
Because for the longest time, and still the majority of today, it's racism. Most of your cops was privileged white folks becoming cops ready to take out a grudge on somebody they didn't know or like. My great grandparents were the most racist people I ever met, but the government kept them separate. But look,
you do believe the police in this country, there is a lot of racism in the police departments.
Oh my God, it's blatantly obvious. It needs to be a rework from the bottom, from the ground up. Yes, and Ferguson's probably worse than Ferguson is. And I grew up right down the street where Mike Brown and shit went on. Like, I was in all the riots and shit. It wasn't in them, but I made my face. I had support for the righteous part of that whole demonstration. And I pray for that young man still to this day, for his parents still to this day. A 17-year-old boy lost his life that should not have happened.
Yeah.
With racism?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think
bad.
we're getting somewhere. But I got to move it on, though, Uncle. I appreciate you coming through, man. I do got to move it on.
Thank you, bud. Hey, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm Italian. And here's the thing. I'm passionate. And I get all lost and spun around. I don't make no sense after a while, but also I'm saying love each other. Biden ain't the answer. Trump definitely ain't the answer. Much love to you, handsome liberal. I was on TikTok for 20 minutes and I saw you live and I watched you. I like your content. I don't agree with everything you say, but I still love you. Love y'all. I'm going to let you go let somebody else in.
That's all. That's all we ask, Uncle. Come on back anytime. All right, Republicans are for the rich only. That's a hell of a comment coming from, looks like it says Joquim. In regards to Republicans being predominantly for the wealthy, why is it that so many working class, mostly Southerners, definitely whites, tend to believe that the opposite? Is it true that the Republican Party tends to benefit the rich? Because there's a lot of working class Americans that believe otherwise. I just want to run that by you. How Democrats make a lot of money too. That is true. Nancy Pelosi has made a fortune in office. When was America great during slavery? America's never been great under that aspect. Indoctrination. Wow. All right, let me go back to the box. Bully Dog Glaxton. That's a hell of a name. Let's make it happen. All right, Bully Dog. Let's see if we can do this. Appreciate the fact you guys are rolling with your boy. Tap the screen. Get your boy up to 40,000 likes.
100 plus of you in here. I don't ban, block, or censor anyone for their damn comments. The fact that you may disagree with the host doesn't mean shit. MAGA friendly zone. MAGA are my preferred guests. Liberals are welcome too. Bully Dog. Good afternoon.
Semper Fi. How are you, young man?
I'm doing good. Thank you for your service. McCarthy, should he step aside?
No, I don't. As your brother in America here, I really do not. Sorry about that. Let me flip this. I don't agree with Mr. Mr. McCarthy, I believe he's a sellout, and we debt this country. And as somebody who, I'm gonna give you a little history. Dang camera. So, I was born in Chicago, but
So
my
was I.
folks are from the South. They
Okay.
were born Democratic. They were sorry,
Just go
my
ahead and
mouth.
talk. Don't worry about your
Beg
camera.
your
Don't
pardon.
worry about your camera. Just go ahead and speak.
Anyway, born in the South. My mom and dad were both born in the South. And when we moved to Chicago, I was born in Chicago, so I've seen both sides of the spectrum, as it were. Up
Okay.
in some of the roughest parts of the world. I'm a poor boy, so I'm familiar with Cabrini Green, some of the most dangerous territory in that city. I lived there.
Okay.
And if all
I
sports
spent a lot of
folks is the South.
I spent a lot of summers in the Robert Tellers. I'm very familiar with Chicago. I was born and raised there, lived there for 30 years of my life.
Okay, well, I started off in Five Corners. I was born in Illinois Masonic Hospital in Cook County, so that tells you where I'm at. I'm a little bit
okay.
older.
All right, fair
I've
enough.
seen some crap. I remember the riots and stuff. I tell you something. In my lifetime, I seen all of that ease away because I got brothers that is black. Hey, you ask them, hey, brother, what time is it? Hell, by my skin, it's dark. We get along. We don't, the color is no issue. That's bull crap. First of all, if you've been in the military whatsoever, you learn that.
But why do you believe there's so much color involvement in politics? Like I told a few callers, the minorities, particularly African Americans, they've run from the Republican Party like the plague. Why do you think that is? You've seen a lot. You've lived in Chicago. Why do you think that is? Chicago hasn't had a Republican mayor, for instance.
The same lie. They get fed the same lie. Those Republicans, they ain't going to stand on your side. That's what you get told. They ain't going to stand on your side. Trust me, they for their own self. Trust me. I'm here for the little guy, the working guy. I'm come up from that. I heard all of that growing up.
But wait a minute. But hold on. You are correct in suggesting that African Americans, minorities are told the Republicans are not operating in their best interest. But the Republicans say the same, but the Republicans also say the same thing in reverse. They tell us the liberals are not operating in our best interest. So why is it that at the end of the day, the African Americans and the minorities go with the Democrats?
That's a good question, considering the first Republicans in the party were black.
Yeah.
It was started by African Americans. It's for the people. Them people knew what it was about. Honestly, there was liberals in that crew. There were liberals in that crew.
Yeah, but
people go, what do you mean? I said they covered the spectrum. That's what made the Republican Party great. That's why more Africans at that time were in the Republican Party.
But what about in today's period? You mentioned back in the day, the Republican Party covered the spectrum. When you look at the modern when you look at Republicans now in modern times, when you see them, you don't see them as covering the spectrum. The party is not very diverse nowadays. What happened?
Yeah. Well, somehow or another, I think money, just like in the Democratic Party, has migrated into it and has made it a class race, not a race, but a class.
But we like money too. Minorities like money.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's because of their amount of influence. You know what I mean? And their ties, because they are, I'm an upstanding citizen in this community. Yet they're not the common man. They come in from somewhere. They come in from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? They come in from somewhere.
Yeah, but here's what you're saying.
It's not like you, brother, where you start your own business and you come up from nothing, right? You made your own life. You made your own business. Now you're doing well, right?
Okay.
Those folks get recognized that fast. People that are in lower incomes don't, and that's the majority of us.
Yeah, but here's what you're saying that's baffling me. Everything you're saying could easily apply to both parties. There is plenty of money in the Democratic Party, plenty of money in the Republican Party, plenty of successful people in both sides of the aisle, but yet for some reason minorities keep tailoring towards the Democratic Party. There has to be something else other than money. There's plenty of money in both parties. What's causing them to go to one side of the aisle?
I don't know. Is it kind of like because I need to be one too, or what? I don't understand it. My parents allowed me to make my own choice, and sometimes I'd back a liberal candidate, sometimes I'd back a Republican, and sometimes it was a Democrat. And the reason I did that is I was picking the best person I thought for the job. Honestly,
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I
I'm
guess
going, hey man,
I'd
this
have to
guy's saying the
ask.
things that we need to hear.
Then I guess I'd have to ask the obvious question. I mean, are you suggesting that maybe minorities are not savvy enough to sift through the media lies, or not savvy enough to make a decent decision?
No, I would never suggest that or infer it.
Okay. Then
Mm-mm.
something is
Most
causing.
of my brothers are pretty slick, man. I'm
Yeah,
just telling you now.
right, and most of them probably vote Democrat. So I'm trying to figure out what is making
Well,
them savvy, slick, whatever you want to call them. African Americans are, even no matter how intelligent or lack of intelligence they are, no matter how rich they are or poor they are, they tend to vote Democrat across all spectrums. What is
well,
causing that?
that's what I've been asking my friend Mike, Big Mike, for years. I'm like, brother, why is it that you vote Democrat when you say you don't even like this candidate?
What answer you
And he
give?
can't. He said, well, sometimes it's the lesser of two evils. He said, and
Okay.
sometimes I don't vote at all because I don't support them. I'm like, but that's your own party, right? Democrats. And he goes, yeah, but that don't mean I like what they doing. I don't like who they are. I don't like what they represent. And I got to
All
give
right,
him
Bully.
that.
All right,
Huh?
Bully, I got to move it on, man.
Peace out, brother. I respect
Absolutely.
your opinion. You have a great day, young man.
You too. Come on back anytime. All right, looking in the comments. Republicans support corporations and 1% and the 1%. Wow. You know, there's no shortage of folks in the comments suggesting that the Republicans tend to favor the rich. Is that true? I hear that quite often, particularly from the left side of the aisle. And it should be noted that you see folks on the right suggesting that minorities and Democrats tend to vote on the left because they want free shit. I don't know what the definition of free shit is, because you can give free shit to rich people too. So I don't necessarily know where I would go with that, but it's interesting. Going back to the box, it is a Wake 2023. All right, good afternoon. Talking about McCarthy in Congress to start out with. Tap the screens. Get your board to 45,000. You guys have been very heavy on the participation. Shout out to all y'all showing your boy some love on the likes. Tap your screen. Get your boy up to 45,000. MAGA friendly zone. Don't ban, don't block, don't censor. A Wake. Good afternoon.
How are you doing, sir? Good to be back again.
I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. Good to have you on. We're starting out with McCarthy. Last I heard, he was trying to attempt round 7 to become Speaker of the House. Should he step aside at this point? Why won't he?
Honestly, I honestly think that he should, because you know there's 20 people in there that are not going to let him get that vote, and they stated this time and time again. It's not going to happen. And if he wants his party to move forward, there's no doubt about it. He has to step aside, because you know damn well the Republicans, they're hard headed. They ain't gonna stop voting for him, and the other ones aren't going to let him get in. It's just going to be a standstill, and it's going to hold up our situation, and it's going to make it worse for not only the Republicans. It's going to make it worse for everybody in the country, because it's going to hold everything
I gotta say, for those who are looking forward to a potential Biden impeachment, Hunter Biden's laptop, the 13 soldiers that were lost in Afghanistan, it ain't making it worse for Biden, because as long as they're doing this, they can't do that.
That is true.
Yeah.
But the thing that kind of turned me the other day, like when Matt Gaetz he nominated Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan's the only one that's going to be doing these investigations with such fierceness and commitment.
Right.
And Jim
I had
Jordan,
a caller.
there's no way
I had a caller. I want to run this by you. I want to run this by you. I had a caller come on and suggest that they should nominate Trump for Speaker of the House. Would you favor something like that?
Yeah. The thought has crossed my mind, and
really,
I was thinking about it. I mean, because he could relinquish his Speaker of the House rights and still run in 2024.
Yeah,
right? I think I'm correct on that, right? So
yeah,
I mean
so.
That would ruffle a lot of feathers.
Yeah, but You think Trump would take the I mean, that's a huge demotion until he seeks the presidency in 2024. You think he would take that job?
Honestly, no, I don't.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Well,
I mean,
it would be
he would do it just to piss.
it would for talking heads like myself, it would sure be interesting as hell just to see him do it. I mean, the conversations you could have off of that shit could go on for the remainder of our lifetimes. I would be interested to see how that would even go.
It would be pretty phenomenal. just for the sake of seeing something crazy happen.
So at the end of the day,
another question.
Sure, go ahead.
No, I was going to talk about something that you were talking about earlier, but I'll wait until you say what you say.
No, I was just going to say at the end of the day, if not McCarthy, then who?
Oh man, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, McCarthy would do an okay job, but like I think that he's slightly compromised by money, and I don't think that he has the best interest of Americans in his line of sight. I really don't.
Yeah. Wow, that's bad. But how do because do you see McCarthy as being a rhino like some folks are suggesting?
Not as much as most of them, but I do believe that money is getting to him a little bit because he's been in politics for 20 years, right? Or 16 years, I do believe.
Yeah, but shit, who in Congress is not affected by money though? They all come there to get paid.
Not a single damn one of them, man. They're all
So what was your question? What was your question?
Well, it was more of a comment. Okay, like you were talking about, why do the minorities tend to lead toward Democratic? And my contention is that, well, okay, you see all the injustices that minorities have dealt with over the years, right?
Right.
And the Republicans are more like an everybody type of group. Well, we'll help this person, we'll help that person. But the Democrats promise these people, like, welfare and like checks and like things to help with certain kind of things and like grants and this. They're more prone to that. That's why they want the immigrants here, because they lean more towards helping immigrants because that's how they get their votes. And you're damn right that the minorities are going to lead more.
But based on what you're saying, you're basically saying that Democrats want to help folks at the lower end of the scale more than Republicans do.
The thing is, I don't know if they want to help them more, but they want to do that for the simple fact is they want all those minorities and the people coming into our country, they want them votes because those votes are what get them elected.
Let's go with what you said. If I'm homeless or I'm, looking to get health care and you give me health care because you only think it will result in a vote to you, at the end of the day, you helped me. You may have had an ulterior motive for why you did it, but you got me off the street. You are helping me.
Oh, yeah. That's good. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but I'm just saying that's what they lean toward. They use that to further their endeavor on, getting their votes and everything. I mean, the Republicans do it as well, and I'm not saying only minorities are on welfare or anything. There's a lot of white people and stuff on welfare and stuff, and a lot of people vote Democrat because of that. It's not only a minority thing why they vote for Democrat.
But let's take it from your standpoint, where you're voting for a candidate because they give you entitlements or free things or stuff like that. Even wealthy African Americans that do not qualify for anything for free, whether it's an athlete, a Tyler Perry, an Oprah Winfrey type, they also vote Democrat. So clearly they're not in the game for free shit. Something is, even the wealthiest of the African American community still vote Democrat. So there's got to be more to it.
But any person of any race, if say the Democratic Party is helping out any race, say it's white, say it's Mexican, say it's any race, that race is going to be like, okay, well this particular party helps my type of people, and everybody that's their type of people, no matter what color they're proud to be that kind of person because that's what they were born, that's what they know, and of course they're going to back up the people that help them the most, whether they're wealthy or not.
So if what you're saying is true, then why are there so many people that believe Trump has done more for black people than any other president in history, when you're making it clear that black people realize the Democratic Party has helped them out more?
Well, see, the thing is that Trump didn't do more than any other president in history. In recent years, you yes, Trump has done quite a bit for the minorities and the communities, and he's not, like I said, he did not do the most. We all know this, but he did do more than the previous presidents before him, and sure as hell after him. And the whole thing with him being racist, Trump's
okay. Well,
I don't see.
Well, if you are
I don't see
correct, well, the racism, we can talk about that too. But if you are correct, whereas Trump has done more than any recent president for African Americans, I have to ask you, why do you believe African Americans do not feel the same way you do about that? They do not support Trump. There's no denying the African American community is not pro-Trump. Yet you're saying he's done more for blacks than any president in recent history. Why is there such a discrepancy?
Because, well, actually, a lot of African Americans that I know, I don't even like that word, but a lot of African Americans that I know, they do support Trump. There's a lot of black support for Trump, a lot, and it's just a lot of it's media control because they tell you, oh, Trump's a racist, Trump's a racist, Trump's a racist. No, Trump's not a racist. He had black girlfriends. He's helped so many black girls.
Yeah, but the media is also saying Biden is a racist too. I get plenty of folks on my program talking about Biden, the Senator Byrd, talking about the crime bill, vote for me, you ain't black. I don't want my kids growing up in a racial jungle. There's no shortage of media that's saying that Biden is racist, and yet the African American community sees Biden far more favorably than Trump. There has to be something there.
Well, how many times have you seen any speech or anything that's Trump was saying the shit that Biden was saying? You don't. Not one.
Wait. Say that again. I didn't give me that question again.
Like you said, when Biden, you literally heard it come out of his mouth talking about, I don't want my children growing up in racial communities or racial jungle. And then he's used the N-word on TV on the fucking House floor. You've never seen Trump do that, and if you say you did, you're a goddamn liar.
Yeah, the N-word on the House floor thing, I think, is a bit misleading. But in regards to saying that Trump has never done things that Biden has did, you do realize Trump lost an entire lawsuit that suggested he was not renting properties to black people. That actually happened.
It might have. I mean, I'm not saying that Trump isn't
it's a fact. I get what you're saying, but no, that is an actual fact. That happened.
I heard something about that. I haven't done any investigating on it, but I understand that's not cool either. It's really not.
Did you hear about the story of him taking out a full-page ad about 5 black men that were accused of a crime that they were later exonerated for, and him suggesting that they should be executed? It's known as the Central Park 5. Have you heard about that?
I heard something about that. I didn't, like I said, I didn't really look into it because after everything happened, I just
listening to what you're saying. Here's where I think the issue is. You started out by saying the whole thing about Trump being a racist is, for the most part, ridiculous. But then when I'm throwing this stuff up, a lot of the stuff that is leading people to make this decision, you're admitting I've never even heard this stuff before. So I guess I'd have to suggest you got to research some of this stuff, because this is what is making people come to this conclusion. And if you've never heard it, then you can't really defend them properly.
That is true. But I was just saying the things that I've seen and the things that I've actually seen is like Biden. There's so much stuff out there with Biden being racist, and you like you're saying, I'd have to dig for the Trump stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that he never did, but from what I've seen. What was that?
No, I'm hearing what you're saying. The point is, you've heard and you are quite familiar. You've heard and you are quite familiar with all of the negative things about Biden, but you've never heard the stuff on Trump. So if I was in your predicament, I would certainly think that Biden is more intolerant than Trump too, because you're not aware of any of the things that people are making a decision about Trump that are based on.
Yeah, but see, the things that you're saying about Trump and like, you know, how he did that with the black males and everything. Now, these are things I'm sure he's done the same thing with white males too, and I'm sure he's done it with all kinds of people. He's
never lost a lawsuit refusing to rent apartments to white people. That's never happened. Only black.
I was saying that, like, the things like that. I mean, I'm sure that he's done things with white people. The same context
Not
of what
like
you're saying
that.
about the
Not like that, where you actually lost a lawsuit showing that you were literally discriminating against people of color. There is no counter to that he's done. He's only done that to black people.
Yeah, that is not okay. I totally 100% fully agree with you, and I'm actually going to.
We're getting somewhere. Exactly. No, that's not okay at all. Yeah, that's definitely.
It's really
not. Okay, fair enough.
But I would just say the things that I heard, it led me to believe that, but I'm definitely going to look into that after I get off this with you. I'm going to be like, I'm going to definitely do some investigating because I need to know. And I like to know my shit before I start talking. I should have actually looked into it a little more before I stated that shit.
Not a problem. Like I said,
yes.
I learn things. I get schooled often on the broadcast, and if I can do the same, hey, good on me. Hey, but I got to move it on. Come on back through. And if you do look that up, feel free to bring it up anytime you come back on the program.
I will.
Hey, good talk. All right, look it in the comments real quick.
And someone said in your comments that I'm not going to go look it up, but I'm going to look it up right now while I'm on your live.
Fair enough. Look it up. All right. MAGA has destroyed the Republicans. Not completely. What is that? Shay, friend of the program. Hey, Shay, good to hear from you. There's still a chance Trump could be president again. Depends on the unity of the Republican Party and who the Democrats send up and what happens throughout the remainder of Biden's presidency. If the economy goes back to shit, and we got to speak and say that the economy right now, the price of fuel and things like that, it has gotten better. It's not where it was during the first half of the Trump administration. Trump's economy still appears better than Biden's, but nevertheless, January 2023 is not the same as April 2022. So you can point to the Biden economy, but you can't make it sound like Armageddon. As bad as it is right now, it was worse about a year ago. So if it goes back to that, and it is at that position in come election time toward the end of 2024, or even in the summer of 2024, if we're paying $5 for gas and all that, yeah, Biden could be in trouble. And if his competition is Trump, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Trump could be reelected. Yours truly, your humble correspondent, I believe the chance of Trump being reelected is very slim. But 2 years from now, we do not know. Right now, in 2022, 2 years before the election, this is very similar to 2014 before Trump won that election. In 2014, nobody thought Trump was going to be the next president. So anything is possible. Our next president may be somebody we do not even know right now, because that is exactly what happened in 2014. Nobody expected Trump to come up. And first of all, he beat Jeb Bush. Nobody predicted he would beat Jeb Bush. Everybody thought Jeb Bush, low energy Jeb as Trump would call him, was going to be the nominee. He beat Jeb Bush rather handedly, and then everybody thought Hillary Clinton would defeat him. And of course, he beat Hillary Clinton. So anything is possible. Looking in the comments, it is, yep, totally agree, yeah. I won't vote for Trump. What did I say? I won't vote for Trump again ever, says Accidental Addict or something like that. Well, there are people saying the same shit about Biden. There are plenty of Biden voters that are unhappy with him. You just never know. Plus, also, how many new voters have gotten in the game since the last election? You're going to have right now, what's happened with, particularly with Trump, Trump is a energizer when it comes to bringing people to the polls. A lot of young folks vote because they vote against him. But you do bring a lot of new people. So it's hard to predict the election this far out. Hell, they couldn't predict what was going to happen in the midterms a few days before the actual midterms. So at this point, we've gotten to a stage where you can't really even trust the polls. Hillary Clinton was supposed to win. She lost. Donald Trump was supposed to win. He lost. A red wave was supposed to happen. It did not. The last three elections. What can you say? In 2024, can you really trust the polls? Unfortunately, folks, I am on a lunch break live, so I do have to terminate the live. I hate to leave with all these folks in here, but as always, this is a MAGA-friendly program. I do not ban, block, or censor anyone. The fact that you could be anywhere you want to be on social media, but you're rolling with your boy, it's always an honor. It's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. I gotta go.